Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about fishing. So as we all know, yesterday the seasonal rewards were doubled and we made a video of that one. However, with that said, a lot of people got the Cool Wind fishing rod, which is basically hit level 60 on your seasonal character, and it's the equivalent of the Grandpa Kron one with like 1000 durability versus 2000. So if you haven't already been using one of them, or the Grandpa Kron pay to win rod, chances are you were using like a Balanos one. So I wanted to talk about different Lightstone combinations, Lightstone and artifacts, as well as things you should pick up and alternative options to what you should use when you're fishing. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and so make sure to use the right ones when you're AFK, depending on what kind of fishing rod you have and different kinds of foods. So yeah, more of a PSA. First of all, we have two different Lightstone setups. We have this one. The first combo is one with the iridescent. So this effect right here, it basically is the Nibbles one. So if you were using the Balanos rod, ideally you want your auto fishing time to be as low as possible, right? That means faster recast and more fish in a long period of time. So if you are not using the Cool Wind rod, you are using the Balanos one for fishing reduction time. So what it does is basically reduces the fishing time even more, and then gives you fishing XP and mastery, which is always nice to have. So this one is a little bit expensive simply because this combination requires the iridescence and the patience one. So we'll look at the price on that one right now. Patience is actually maxed out at 5 billion, which it seems like a lot, but the amount you make in fishing, you'll make that money back in a couple days, maybe a week, which is overall not too bad. And then the iridescence is a little bit under 2 bill. So yeah, people might think it's a expensive Lightstone setup to have, but this is the combination that I would use if you are using the Balanos rod. So basically the permanent one that eventually, if they stop selling these fishing rods that are from the Pearl Shop, then you would use this combo. So I assume that most people have one of these two now, right? And the one you guys should use is this combo. This one is the Blacksmith's Blessing, and the reason why you'd use this one is for gear durability reduction. So for all of you who are trying to min-max and make sure your rod doesn't completely get destroyed over time, so you get to use it longer, durability reduction is worth so much more than whatever little mastery you get out of this. And simply because if you're paying real money for it, you want to be able to use it as long as possible. And the fishing rod itself gives max auto fishing time reduction. So what that means is you don't need this combo anymore, because the auto fishing time is no longer relevant with this one. So you would switch it up for gear durability reduction, so you could use this as long as possible, especially to people who AFK fish maybe 12 to 24 hours a day, or just like you leave your game on all day. This is probably the overall best one, and you're getting the most value out of it. So it really depends on what you are using. So to give you an idea, let me visualize this for you. If you are using the Cool Wind fishing rod or Grandpa Kron's rod with the max fishing reduction time, you're using this combo, which is 1 fortune, 1 feather, 1 predation, and 1 fitted. These two Lightstones, very cheap. They're like 5 mil. You could buy a bunch of them. The hard one to get here is probably fortune and feather. Fortune is probably a little bit under 2 billion. Let's actually look this up right now for you guys. Fortune is wind, and you can probably order. Just put an order on max price, and then you'll get it. And feather is pretty cheap. So just put an order on one of these, and then you'll get it. So I've had these for a while. I've been using these combinations. So basically, depends what rod you're using. let me put a little more of a visualizer. So if you're using one of these rods, you use this combo, the Blacksmith's Blessing one. If you're using Balanos one, using these two. Also, I wanted to make another quick PSA. What food you should use while you're at it. So if you are using the Balanos fishing rod, you would be using the Balix lunchbox, simply because auto fishing time minus 10%. And if you are using this one, you don't need this one. This is also kind of an expensive meal, so you know, use it depending on which one you're using. If you're using the max fishing one, it really doesn't matter what you use. You could have like I think I used to use Arihaza, but then you could probably just use a standard seafood cron meal or literally anything else. But this one, the Balix lunchbox that people recommend, is exclusively for Balanos rod. And that's about it. So also, one thing that I mentioned last time in another video is how to get the fish tank. So back when I did it the first time, you had to do a weekly or like a daily quest for a week. Now I believe you could just get it. So what you would do is you make your way all the way into the Sea Palace over here. And I think in Morning Light, there's a place where you jump down into the Sea Palace over here. And then they'll take you inside over here. And when you go into the entrance, like pretend this is like a big rectangle, right? You go in from the entrance and then you go to your left and straight ahead. The NPC is all the way back there. There used to be an event thingy where you can get to the Sea Palace from around here. But I think that one is event. So either way, to get there, you just go to Morning Light and then go here, jump down into the water, and they'll take you into the Sea Palace. So with that said, I think you could just get this easily these days. So just get the 50 tank. There is another option where you could buy this on the Pearl store. I don't actually have no idea where it even is. Yeah, this tank, I would not recommend buying this with pearls because you can get one for free and it's like saving $30 or something. But yeah, if for some reason you fish way too much and you collect more of them, that's another option. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do that. So just do the quest in the Sea Palace, get one of these for free and not spend $30, and hopefully this helps. Aside from that, best things you can get, Mono's fishing chair and Mono's fishing clothes. When it comes to mastery and everything, where you go is based on what your mastery, and if you feel like full buffing and everything. I wish I could tag my pre-owned gear from my main to all of my characters. That would be really nice, but unfortunately I have to swap it around. But either way, with that said, hopefully this picture helps you visualize what you should use, like which combination. And so once again, if you have Balanos fishing rod, get these two. You get the one with iridescent and patience. This is an expensive one, but it's basically something you'll be using forever, even when these run out, let's say a year or so from now, if they don't sell it anymore. And if you're using one of these two, you would use the one that requires Fortune Feather, Predation, and Fitted, and that. So hopefully this helped you guys, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of it. So I guess one more thing before we head out, the spots that I like fishing, it kind of rotates, and you've seen it in multiple videos of mine. So as we all know, the classic spot for most people, I personally consider this one. People who don't have 2000 mastery and or very lower, they're just fishing over here. And I don't think the spot is bad at all. Like every now and then in like a couple hours, you get the rare fish and then you get a couple 100 mil, turn it in from here into Morning Light or just whatever farthest distance you can. But other spots that I think are good, there are a few in Morning Light, but another spot that I fish is the island over here, the Tigris Island. People have fished on Aquila's Eye somewhere around here. That's a pretty decent spot. There was one like out in the middle of somewhere like down here that was apparently that gives to one bill dolphin, but I don't. It's just kind of out of the way to the point where I would rather fish in Velia just because it's closer. But apparently, if you're just going for the rare dolphins or like knowledge or anything, it's a good spot as well. And aside from that, there's a bunch of other good spots that I recommend, like down here. So what you do is go to Arihaza, get your boat, and just keep sailing. Eventually, you get hit an invisible wall somewhere down here, and you can fish over there. That's fine too. And yeah, there's a few more in Morning Light that I'm still doing a little bit of testing on. But those are usually the places I would go, and you know, that's what works. But with that said, if you guys have any more questions about fishing and everything, just feel free to ask. There should be a spreadsheet or a Google Doc somewhere, and you could just find out all the information. But I just wanted to share a quick PSA on which artifacts and lightstones that will actually help you and that you can get like immediately. So make sure to use something, get durability reduction as soon as possible if you can, and it's really helpful. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys come back, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.